Hello, welcome to the Bellingham-Whatcom County League of Women Voters interviews of candidates in the August primary for the Whatcom County Council. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We never support or oppose a party or a candidate. My name is Michael J., and my guest is Elizabeth Boyle, who is running for the County Council from District 2. We are asking all the candidates for this office the same three questions. Each candidate has 2 minutes to answer each question, and the answers are timed. This video of candidate Boyle's responses will remain on our website until after the primary elections of August 5th, 2025. Candidate Boyle, thank you very much for agreeing to this interview and for seeking to serve in public office. Our first question is what do you consider one of the top problems facing the Whatcom County Council, and what ideas do you have for solving it?
Well, first, thank you so much for doing these interviews and for having me here. I'm really grateful to the League of Women Voters for their impact in our communities and beyond. So thank you very much. It's a great question you ask. And Gosh, my first instinct, it's interesting. I'd like to reflect on that. I'm sure I'll reflect on it later on today. But my first instinct is the issue that's most strong on my heart and my mind is housing. And I think it's something that's really pressing for everybody. That really becomes a financial issue. And so I think probably the bigger picture is that what constraints the county council is under, both at the county level, the state level, and clearly at the federal level. So I'm personally curious, even in spite of all those financial challenges, what can we possibly do as a community to wrap our arms around the housing crisis? And when I think of the housing crisis, I think of affordable housing, how many people are leaving our community and breaking up families. That breaks my heart. And then I think of the rents. So many people are renters in our community, and the lack of stability that when their rent is up and down, well, up, I shouldn't say up and down, it definitely goes up. And then third, the thing that's really on my heart a lot is around our unsheltered neighbors. I'm on a board member at the YWCA where we care for unsheltered women and children. And I just look at housing as foundational for public health. And so when I think of our community's top priority, it's got to be addressing housing. And so you're thinking about, we need to think about zoning changes, a lot of reform, just so many things. What is possible within our hands, even without financial means? What can we do to encourage housing, and what kind of community response can we have to just take care of each other? Housing is foundational for public health, and I want it to be something that I prioritize.
Thank you, candidate Boyle. And then it plays music. Okay,
I
here we
love it.
go. As somebody
That's
said,
fun.
a little bit like being at the Oscars. Question number two, what programs or services should the county be adding for its residents, and which, if any, it now provides should be eliminated?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. So, what programs and services should the county provide and which should be eliminated?
Yep.
Well, that's a good one. Well, it's interesting. I'm not sure if it's a program, but I'd say it's more of an approach. So I'll answer in that way. I'd like to see more opportunities for civic engagement and community engagement in our conversations. When we look to our community members, so much of my work, I do a lot of work in facilitating and consulting with local nonprofits and local government. And the most amazing wisdom comes from our people. We're doing some really cool work around reentry, and we're involving people that have experience having served time in jail. And we learn so much from them by gathering with them at tables and learning. So I think about, it's not a program or service, so I'm just going to say it's an approach. But how can we engage the wisdom of our community members? And if I were going to go down that path, when I think about our behavioral health services and all that we could be doing around the jail and implementation of the Justice Project, I would like to see more and more attention being given to those to make sure that people are we're diverting people, and then when if people are serving time in jail, how are we caring for them? So I think there's some additional programs that could be wrapped around both sides of that process. Um, but I'd say my overarching answer is still going to be a little bit off, maybe, but really looking to our community for answers and the wisdom. What do they want to see in our community? I don't have those. Well, I've already been doing some of that work, but I'd like to see that being done even more at the county level.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, candidate Doyle. Let's go to the third question. Let me stop the timer here first. Okay. The third question is, why do you think people are so polarized in their political positions these days? And how would you contribute to a more cooperative working relationship with your fellow council members?
It's a great question, Michael. I think it's something that's on all of our minds. And I think that polarization happens when people don't feel heard. I will reflect on a time I worked at the Bellingham Public Schools Foundation, and both as a volunteer and then as an employee. And I'm going to use this as an example that we were trying to work on some shared fundraising models. And so we would meet with parents from all the different schools. And the experiences at one school versus another were just vastly different. And we were just trying to make it so we were coming from a more equitable approach. And I felt like parents, when they were not excited about sharing some fundraising, was more because they felt like their needs and their children's needs weren't yet being heard. But as soon as everyone had a chance to sit at a table and say, okay, we all want the best for our youth. This is what we're trying to do. Like, what is our common goal here? And making sure that everyone, like, we don't want to feel like we're being unheard and that we're being listened to and heard is so important in our world. So when I look at the council or I look at those parents around the table about the shared fundraising, it's like, how do we all agree? This is what we believe in. This is what we agree upon as a community. Where is the flexibility and I'm going to give a little bit here, give a little bit here, so that we can come to that comment. I am so distraught to think of all the energy that's being lost in our community and on a national level, just in anger. And so, I keep coming back to like, how can we be with each other instead of at each other? And it just, I think there's a lot of potential, and that just building relationships, building trust, and being transparent in our process so that no one feels like anything's being done behind the scenes. But there's so much beauty that we can create together, and I know it's possible. I'm looking forward to that opportunity.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, candidate Doyle. Once again, thank you for giving the public this insight into your views and values. Viewers, please don't forget to vote by August 5th. Ballots sent by mail must be postmarked by that date. Ballots placed in drop boxes must be submitted by 8 p.m. that day, August 5th. For more information, please see votewa.gov, G-O-V. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you.